Good evening, everyone. Erev Tov. Jeffrey, how are you? Erev Tov, Dr. Liz. Just before you start, Erev Tov, just before you start, I would like just to speak to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, do you have a Tanakh next to you, Jeffrey?
I've got the no, I haven't got the Tanakh next to me, but I can get it while Liz is
Get the
talking.
Tanakh, because we're going to go to the prophet Hoshaya, or prophet Hoshaya. Okay?
Right.
Okay, please look at that. The prophet Hoshaya.
Yep. Good. I'll go and get it. I'm gonna get it now.
Okay. In the meantime, Dr. Liz can give us the news. Dr. Liz, Havod.
First of all, Rav, I have to make. Okay, thank you.
Dr. Liz, before you start, I think that I should wish you long life for the yortzeit of your dad yesterday. Hayim Arukim.
Thank you so much, Rav. And Rav, I must just mention, Bezrat Hashem, very soon, it could even be tomorrow, my daughter is expecting. So Bezrat Hashem, the circle of life continues. And we just davening that it should be Briot and Bezrat Hashem.
ושיהיה הוולד בריא ושלם ברמח איבריו ושיסה גידיו.
So Shironi Zahava Baslea, but thank you so much, Rav. I so appreciate it. I really do.
Shironi Zahava Batlea, שהקדוש ברוך הוא
Shironi Zahava.
Shironi Zahava, שהקדוש ברוך הוא בעזרת השם ייתן לה לידה קלה. בלי כאבים, והקדוש ברוך הוא יחזקיה וירים את רוחה מעלה.
Oh, thank you so much, Rav. I so appreciate it. So, Rav, I have to mention, last week, I need to make a very sad correction. You know, when I mentioned about the attack in Besamim, unfortunately, when I heard the reports, they said that people were injured, but unfortunately, one of the injured succumbed to the wounds and he was nefta. And may his memory be for eternal blessing. Matan al-Mala, Zichron Ibrahim, was only 26, and there were 11 injured, and one was actually pregnant as well. So, and these were just mamish murderers. That three Palestinians came to Besamim, and they shot, and they had automatic rifles. But it could have been worse. Every death, every Yiddish neshama, every neshama that's taken away is a tragedy. But because of the alertness of the soldiers and the people that were there, they neutralized them. But it could have been a terrible massacre. And you know what? The world is quiet. The world is very silent when it comes to Yidden being killed. It's incredible. While I was at the hospital on Friday visiting my daughter, they had the TV on in their channel 13, and they showed Britannia neged Yisrael, Britain against Israel, and they showed. And I couldn't believe, like a sea. There must have been about nearly 500,000 in England, in London, people that really do not like us. They really do not like us. They're pro-Palestinian. The British courts have allowed the chant from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which means eradication of Israel. That's just been allowed from the British courts. And as we speak, they, today and yesterday, they closed the London Bridge, the pro-Palestinian Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge was closed by pro-Palestinian protesters. But Rabbi, I want to ask you guys all, which country in Europe hates Israel the most? And I think when I saw this news, it's actually on Ynet, you can see it. And the prize goes to a country called Norway. And the foreign minister of Norway, Espen Barth Eid, I think you call his surname, it's a terrible person. He forbade the king of Norway to send a letter of condolence to Israel after the October 7th massacre. He forbade, can you believe it? The prime minister forbade the king to send, so the king didn't send. What a useless king they have, that he listens to his prime minister and not to decency, common decency. But Norway supported South Africa in the slanderous and in the disgraceful genocide accusation at The Hague. And Norway has the chutzpah to refuse to recognize Hamas as a terrorist organization. And they had, and you can watch this on Ynet. I'd advise everyone to go into Ynet, the homepage. You see a so-called peace activist from Norway going to the Israeli embassy and spitting on the pictures of the hostages. Now, what person in their normal right mind would go to a poster of young children who were taken from their homes and are held in the dungeons, in the tunnels, which cost billions to build these tunnels, and are held hostages, and you go to the embassy to spit on their faces? This must be incredibly evil, like bordering on Amalek people that do this, and they're so-called peace activists. So, one has to really realize that we are a nation that really dwells alone. We do have friends, Baruch Hashem, but by our only saving grace, so to speak, is that we are Hashem's chosen people. And I think the Jewish community should be very, 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 they should not support anything coming from Norway until they have the decency to apologize for their actions. I mean, most of the European countries have agreed that Hamas, people that rape and murder and pillage, are terrorists, but Norway doesn't. And to ask the king not to send a letter of condolences, I think it's just absolutely unbelievable. Nu Rav, what can I say? It's just every day we're seeing like the most unbelievable things, but I think it's very prophetic at the end of times where all the nations will come against Israel, and we're actually seeing it.
It's a Gog Magog, Gematria, 70 Omot HaOlam. Thank you, Dr. Liz, for the updates. Be'ezrat Hashem, that we'll see miracle. But today, Rabotai, we're going to speak how we can overcome from Hazal, from the mystical Rabbi, Ari Kadosh, how we can come over those fear, over those anxiety. Be'ezrat Hashem, you'll see. Jeffrey, you need to prepare in Sefer Oshaya, chapter 14, verse 7.
Right.
Chapter 14, verse 7. And also what we read yesterday in the Parsha, okay? Yeah. That we read yesterday in the Parsha, we read something very interesting. I don't know how many of you saw it. In chapter 29, verse 25. That means Parashat Tetzaveh.
Yes.
Okay? Those two that you have to prepare. Right. 29, 25. Okay? And yes. Sefer Oshaya, the prophet Oshaya, 14:7. And also, you know what? From the book of Mishle, I brought a lot of information. Book of Mishle that Shlomo HaMelech wrote, chapter 27, verse 9. Book of Mishle 27:9. Yeah. Okay, so take your time, and we're soon going to start. Okay, Rabotai, I would like to dedicate the shiur in the soul of Esther Kaden Bat Ketzia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Tamar Bat Zeava, Eitan ben Keren ve'Avishai Na'eh, Malka Regina Bat Joya, Yaakov Salomon ben Parha, ve'Parha Bat Salcha, Nishmatan Tiyeh Tzura B'tzur Haim. Also in health of Leora Bat Miriam, Menashe Naji ben Farha, Rav Moshe ben Bayabatia, Rav Moshe ben Devora, Rav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Rav Abraham ben Marina, Dvora Bat Esther, Sheina Keila Bat Hana, Mordechai David ben Leah, Yehuda Hillel ben Shulamit Leah, Haim Nahum ben Pesach Reza Kohen, Baruch ben Sarah Hiena, Ahuva Kaden Bat Tali Esther, Leah Bat Rachel, Pesach Yitzhak ben Ela, Ayala Eden Bat Rivka, Natalie Malka Bat Sarah Rivka Tal, Yehuda ben Eliezer, Meir ben Yehuda. Please God, refuah shlema to all of them. And kol amo and kol cholei uptzoei amo Yisrael b'chol makom shem. And all the injured people, all of those that need refuah shlema, amongst the soldier, among the member of the security, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send them refuah shlema, and also for releasing of the hostages speedily. Okay? As I mentioned in a group, I'm going to do a show about the Besamim, the blessing of the Besamim. And today we're going to go through the source to it. I'm going to go through the blessing, the implication that it has on a human being, the blessing that we say the Besamim during the festival, obviously also in Motzei Shabbat, which Besamim we don't say brocha, although that they have a good smell. Where is the best place that the Besamim grow up? And then how does it affect our soul? And Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach v'Hashem alenu berachamav yarviach. As you all know, that we have a mitzvah that is to say Birkat Hareach, and we're going to bring the sources soon. What it means, Birkat Hareach? Birkat Hareach, it's spices or herbs, okay, or bark, or fruit, or trees that give good smell. We have an obligation to say a brocha. Where is the source to it? The source. The source to it come, Rabotai, funny enough, from the Gemara in Masechet Brachot, in page 43, folio 2. Der Hazal say like this, Min ayin shemevarchim al hareach. That means Hazal in the Gemara asking, where do we learn that we have to say a brocha on a good smell? Okay. Answer the Gemara. Hazal say, Shene'emar, Kol haneshama tehalleliya hallelujah. What is that? That's the last sentence when you finish the Tehillim. David HaMelech say in chapter 150 in verse 6, it says, Kol haneshama tehalleliya hallelujah. All the souls will praise you. Neshama is a soul, will praise you. What it means the soul will praise you? That's what we have to see. The Hazal and the Gemara say, continue asking a question. And the same Gemara, Masechet Brachot 43:2, folio 2. Hazal asking, איזה דבר שהנשמה נהנית ממנו ואל הגוף נהנה ממנו? Hazal and the Gemara continue asking, what is a thing that the neshama get benefit, but the body doesn't get benefit of it? Hazal in the Gemara answer, Have Omer, it's mean, Ze hareach, it's the smell. That means that from here Hazal learned that we have a mitzvah, okay, to say a brocha on a good smell. And the Rambam, the great eagle, that born in the city of Cordova 889 years ago, plus minus. Okay? In Ilchot Brachot, in chapter 9, law number 1, listen what he said. כשם שאסור לאדם ליהנות במאכל או במשקה, okay? קודם ברכה, כך אסור לו ליהנות בריח טוב קודם ברכה. What does it mean? Say the Rambam in Ilchot Brachot, remember chapter 9, law number 1. He said the same like a person not allowed to get any benefit, okay, from a food or from a drink before he said brocha. That means before I eat a fruit, vegetables, mezonot, or a drink, she'akol, or a motzi, I'm not allowed to eat it until I say brocha. The same, a person not allowed to get a benefit from a smell, from a good smell. We'll explain what is those smell without a brocha. And that's pasken le'alach. What is the brachot? Rabotai, I'm going to speak only about brachot besamim, because there is different brachot. Birkot hareach can be a good smell of a bread. If a person smell a bakery that make a big bakery that make a smell, and there is a good smell that's coming from the baking of the bread and etc. You have to say bracha, but that's I'm not speaking about. I'm speaking about birkot besamim, and that's what I want us to focus. So there is 4 main brachot that we have to say. The first bracha, I'm going to through the brachot according to the orders, okay? And Hazal say like this: the first bracha, bore atse besamim. What it means, bore atse besamim? A person that smell, for example, cinnamon, a bark of cinnamon. You have a bark of cinnamon, okay? On that bracha, he say, Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam, Bore Atse Besamim. Or if he take a rosemary, okay, the herb that's called rosemary, and he smell it, you have to say Atse Besamim, and etc. There is, after that come Bore Atzbe Besamim, Asbe. Asbe, it's Milshon Eseb, weeds. Okay, for example, like the herbs that call mint. We say Bore Asbe Besamim. Okay? There is what we call, what do you call it? Rocket, I think. Not rocket, what do you call it? I forgot the name. I just smelt it, I forgot the name. Basil, you know the herb basil. Hazal say that on the basil, that the common basil that we have in this country, it's asbe besamim. Only the Yemen basil that look like a tree, you say atse besamim. Then the third bracha, that it's the most common, bore mine besamim. Bore mine besamim, okay, for example, we say on a ground cinnamon. That's what I mentioned earlier, bark of cinnamon or ground cinnamon. A ground cinnamon, okay, we say bore mine besamim, and etc. If there is a tree that gives good smell, for example, a fruit tree that gives a good smell, like apple, like etrog, okay, we say Baruch Ata Hashem Kel Melech HaOlam Bore Reach Tov Baperot, okay? שבורא ריח טוב בעצים, בפירות, depends where it comes from, okay? So we see that we use 4 brachot that we say on them birkot besamim. How is those brachot actually affect us, reflect on us, affect on us, on a human being? Shlomo HaMelech, in a book of Mishle, in chapter 27, verse 9, says something very interesting. Listen what the smartest man, King Solomon, said. He said like this: Shemen uketoret, yesamach lev. Bechavod, Jeffrey.
Verse 27, 9.
Yeah.
Ointment and perfume rejoice the heart. So does the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel.
What is Shlomo HaMelech revealed to us? That the good smell, okay, he revealing to us something very important. That the good smell, the smell of spices, of smell of perfume, okay, actually rejoice the heart of a human being. Our Holy Torah tells us something very interesting in Sefer Bereshit. In Sefer Bereshit, Parashat Toldot, Jeffrey, Parashat Toldot, chapter 27, verse 27. Chapter 27, verse 27, Parashat Bereshit, ספר בראשית, פרשת תולדות. Here
Yes.
it says something very interesting. When Yaakov Avinu goes to get the blessing from Yitzhak Avinu, listen what it says. וירח את ריח בגדיו, ויברכהו, ויאמר, ראה, ריח בני כריח השדה, אשר ברכהו, ברכהו אדוני.
Verse, chapter, I've got the chapter.
27, 27. 27, 27.
Right.
27.
Okay, I'm sorry, I had 25. Okay.
It's okay.
27,
27.
Got it. So he drew close and kissed him. He smelled the fragrance of his garments and blessed him. He said, see, the fragrance of my son is like the fragrance of a field which Hashem had blessed.
Okay. The Mefarshim explain that Yitzhak Avinu, before he blessed Yaakov Avinu, he asked him to come closer. And when he smelled him, he smelled a special fragrance, the Torah tells us. What is that fragrance? He smelled the smell of Gan Eden. Hazal said that you learn from here that the smell of a fragrance, okay, actually give a prophet a better strength to get the prophecy. That means smell, a good smell, help a prophet to get his prophecy, to say his prophecy. Where do we learn that? From Yitzhak Avinu before he blessed Yaakov Avinu. Okay, the prophet Yeshaya in chapter 3, verse 24, revealed to us that actually this fragrance, the good smell, strengthens the body. Strengthens the body. It's good, it's healthy for the body, a good smell. Hazal in the Gemara in Masechet Horayot, listen to that, in page 13, folio 2. Hazal says something very interesting. Hazal in the Gemara tell us, the Amar Rabba say, Hamra, Verehane, Pikhin. What does it mean? Hazal in the Gemara, again I say, Horayot 13, folio 2. Hazal say that a good wine, a red wine, Hamra, it's red, okay? Verehane, a good smell, Pikhin. What does it mean, Pikhin? That the person that smell a good smell, a good fragrance, it's help him to remember his study and help him not only to remember his studying, it's also help him to study. That giving him a strength to study even harder. Hazal in a Talmud Yerushalmi. There is Talmud Yerushalmi and Talmud Bavli. Now I'm going to bring both of them, but different Gemarot. In a Gemara in a Talmud Yerushalmi, Masechet Sukkah, chapter 3, law number 11. And a Talmud Bavli, Gemara in Masechet Beitza, page 33, folio 2. I needed to write all of that. That I'm not going to remember all of this. Hazal say that the good fragrance, good smell, good besamim help a person that's sick. When he smell it, it's helping him. Hazal say in the Gemara in Masechet Beitza, in page 33, folio 2, Hazal say that on Shabbat, a person allowed to be metaltel besamim for the sick person, okay, if it's going to help him. That means if there is a sick person and there is besamim, you're allowed to take it over the line of Shabbat, Tchum Shabbat, although that there is no, what do you call it, eruv, you're allowed to take it to give it to a sick person to smell it. Why? Because he's stringing the sick person. He's making him feel better. So what do we learn from here? That a good smell, a good fragrance, have a lot of influence on the body of a human being. Okay, how is that the smell affecting us on our festival? So where is the Besamim fit with us on a festival? So we know that on Motzei Yom Tov, okay, Motzei Yom Tov, in the end of Yom Tov, when we do the Havdalah, if it's not Shabbos, we don't do on a Besamim. Why? Because we didn't get Nefesh Yetera. Nefesh Yetera, it means extra soul, okay? I have to explain that. Because we don't have an extra soul, we don't say Besamim. So how's that affecting us on a Yom Tov? So I would like to start with Hag HaShavuot. In Hag HaShavuot, there is a custom that we should decorate the shul, we should decorate the house with nice flower, with nice smelly flower, with nice smell of trees, and wrote the Maharil. Who was the Maharil? Maharil is Rabbi Yaakov Moshe Levy Mulin. Okay, he born in the city of Mainz in Germany. Okay, he born around 659 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And in Hilchot Shavuot, in the law of Shavuot, okay, also in Hilchot Shavuot Sa'if Bet, in verse 2, also in Minhage Amsterdam. It's Minhage Amsterdam is the custom of the Jews from Holland, from the city of Amsterdam, in chapter 3, verse 5. They bring that minhag that in a festival of Shavuot, a person should decorate his house. The community should decorate the shul with nice smelly trees and flower. Why is that? Say Hazal, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu given the Torah, when did he give the Torah? In a festival of Shavuot. That's why we celebrate Shavuot. Every word that HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, with that word came the smell of Gan Eden. Therefore, in Shavuot, we should decorate the shul, we should decorate our house, the table that we sit, that we do the kiddush, with nice, smelly flower or trees, whatever we can have. Then I would like to speak, the next one is about Yom Kippurim and a festival of Yom Kippur. As you all know, in Yom Kippur, we're fasting around 26 hours plus minus. Okay? We're not allowed to eat, we're not allowed to drink. There is other prohibition that it's not for that. But the Mishnah Berurah tell us in Siman Tafresh Yud Bet, that means 612, Se'if Yud Het, verse 18. Chazal tell us there that on Yom Kippur, okay, a person allowed to smell Besamim, if it's good fragrance, okay, and etc., a person allowed to smell it. Why? Ask Chazal. Because we have a mitzvah every day to say 100 brachot. But on Yom Kippur, because we're not eating, we're not drinking, okay, we don't do a lot of things that usually we do. We can't say a lot of brachot, so we're short with brachot. Said the Mishnah Berurah, but on Yom Kippur, how do you fulfill those 100 brachot? You can do that on a Besamim, on all different smell that we say, Atze Besamim, Asbe Besamim, Bore Minne Besamim, Vanoten Reach Tov Baperot. Okay? Let's move on. In Hag HaSukkot, in a festival of Sukkot, the Torah tells us that we should take the 4 species, Arba'at HaMinim. Amongst the Arba'at HaMinim, there is two species with a smell, and that's the etrog and the hadas. The etrog and the hadas have a special smell on them. And Hazal tell us that on Chag HaSukkot, to take two species with the smell. So from here you learn something very important. You learn that even in a festival, there is a connection to Besamim. I would like to continue now to Motzei Shabbos. In Motzei Shabbos, one of the brachot that we do in Havdalah, we're doing it on a wine, we're doing it on a candle, and the third one, we're doing it on the Besamim, okay? And then we do a Hamavdil, okay? The four. But one of the brachot that we do on Motzei Shabbos is on the Besamim. A person have to do Birkat Besamim. If it's Aseh Besamim, Asbe Besamim, Mineh Besamim, it doesn't make a difference. The Mishnah Brura tell us why. The Mishnah Brura in Siman Resh Tzadik Zayin, that means 297. In Sa'if Katan 2, that means verse 2, the Mishnah Brura explained to us what's the reason that we do Birkat Besamim on Motzei Shabbos. So the Mishnah Brura explained to us on Shabbat, we get Nefesh Yetera. What it means, Nefesh Yetera? So on a pshat of the dvarim is the extra soul. What it means, the extra soul that we get on Shabbat? Chazal explained that that's the string that we get on Shabbat, that the extra neshama that we get, that if you look what the amount of food that we eat on Shabbat, it's almost 3 times than your normal day. But we eaten 3 meals on Shabbat. I'm not talking about Seudat Melave Malka. I'm just talking about the 3 meals. Friday night, Shabbos, okay, straight after Tfilat Musaf, okay, that's around lunchtime, let's call it, and then Seudah Shlishit after Minha. Okay? Hazal say that you get such an extra soul, a special soul, that give you strength to eat more. What happened in Motzei Shabbos? In Motzei Shabbos, the neshama, the soul, feel that the Shabbat leaving us, okay? And we have like a feeling that something disappear from us. We're feeling like this disappointment, this kind of a disappointment feeling after Shabbos. Hazal say, therefore, you said the Birkat Besamim, להשיב את הנפש הכואבת. What does it mean? That we smell the Besamim, a good smell, to help us to return the soul back, to feel happy, to feel again comfortable. And that's the secret behind smelling the Besamim on Motzei Shabbos. Until here, we spoke about all the ideas of the Besamim, how it fit with the human being, number one, how it work on us, how it affect us, and etc. But there is certain Besamim, there is certain spices, Rabotai, that they have good smell. But Hazal tell us that we're not allowed to say brachot on it, and we have to know them. Hazal, for example, in a Mishnah in Masechet Brachot, in Perek Het, Mishnah Vav, that means chapter 8, Mishnah 6, Hazal say like this. I'm going to read it and I'm going to translate it. En mevarchim, that means we're not saying a brocha, lo ala ner velo ala besamim shel nochrim. We're not allowed to say a brocha on a candle of a Gentile or spices or fragrance, okay, besamim of a Gentile. Velo al ner, velo al besamim shel netim lo alem. That means the Mishnah continues and say that you're not allowed to say a brocha on a candle or besamim, fragrance, okay, a good smell, or a deceased, people that lo alenu passed away. ולא על נר, ולא על בשמים שלפני עבודה זרה. Also, you're not allowed to say a brocha on a candle or besamim that in the front of avodah zara. That means in the front of the idols, or in the front of besamim. That means that been made specially for avodah zara. Can you believe it? So we see from here that there is different besamim that we don't say birkat besamim. The Maran Shulchan Aruch, Rabbi Yosef Karo, he born in the city of Toledo 536 years ago. He wrote in the Shulchan Aruch, listen what he said. He wrote in the Shulchan Aruch in Helek Yoreh De'ah, okay, in Siman Kufhet 108, verse 7, that a person not allowed to say besamim on trees or weeds that give good smell, herbs that give good smell, if it's orla, if it's during the 3 years. But what is it referred to as besamim? Okay, trees that give good smell. Velo kil'ei keren. What it means kil'ei keren? When you mix those trees together to get a special smell. That means that you mix breed trees, okay, or herbs to give a good smell. On those, you're not allowed to say any blessing of the besamim. In Masechet Brachot, there is a Tosfeta, an edition that's been made by the Lieberman edition. It's called a Lieberman edition. And there it says that the person not allowed to say a brocha on besamim that been found in a bathhouse. There is a bathhouse in the time. Hazal speaking about the bathhouse. If a person come to the bathhouse where people sit and wash themselves, they have a sauna and etc., and there is besamim there, and there is a besamim, can he say the brocha on it, on those besamim? And a Tosfeta said that you're not allowed. In Talmud Yerushalmi, in a Gemara in Talmud Yerushalmi, Masechet Brachot, in chapter 6, law number 6, Hazal explains something extraordinary. If there is a good oil that have a beautiful smell, but the job of that oil, okay, like Shemen Afar Simon, for example, okay, if you take that oil, and the main purpose of that oil is to clean with that the house, to clean with that furniture, and etc., you're not allowed to say brocha on it. The same Hazal continue and say there, if there is an oil to take the force or the smell of a person, the person's body, you're not allowed to say brocha on it. Why? Because the purpose of that oil is to remove smell or to do job on it. You don't say brocha on it. Okay. Regarding, and here I'm going to bring a big mahloket that there is amongst the poskim, Rabotai, and that can help us to understand. There is a question among the poskim. If today the perfume, the bottle of perfume, that most of them synthetic, should we say brocha on it or not? So Arav Zalman Auerbach and Arav Eliashiv Zecher Tzadikim V'Kedoshim Livracha, they say those kind of a perfume that been made by separation, chemical separation, there is something that you saw in Seh Brocha. Ado, Rav Ovadia Yosef, Zecher Tzadik Vekadosh Libracha, in his book Hazon Ovadia, Ilchot Brachot, in page Shin Yud Gimel 313, he said that you do say brocha on it. What the brocha that you say in this kind of a smell, on this kind of perfume, if you smell it open, okay, you say the brocha, bore mine besamim. Mine besamim. The question becomes also, if a person entering a perfume shop, okay, and he smell all the time good smell, should he say brocha or not? According to Rav Ovadia, you should say brocha also. Okay, where is the best place that those herbs, that those trees with a good smell, the besamim, grow the best? You're not going to believe. So the prophet Hosea, in a book, in his book, in chapter 14, verse 7, revealed to us something very interesting. He revealed to us like this: Yilchu inna kotab v'yu bezayit hod v'reach lo kalevanon. Bechavod, Jeffrey.
Okay, well, I've got Yeshaya.
Yes, Hosea, yeah.
So, sorry, what? Just give me that again, please,
14:7, Hosea.
14, right, 14:7. No problem. 14:7. Right. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Jeffrey, Hosea, the prophet Hosea.
Actually, this is up to Yeshaya. Sorry.
No, Hosea.
Okay, sorry.
Hosea,
I'm just trying to find
Hosea 14:7.
Sorry, bro.
No, you're doing us a favor.
Yes, Hosea chapter
14,
right.
verse 7.
14, verse 7. Chapter 14, verse 7. 13, 14, verse 7. Got it. His branches shall spread, and his beauty shall be as the olive tree, and his fragrance as Lebanon.
What does it mean? There is a commentary on a Nach. It's called Metzudot David and Metzudot Zion. It's a commentary that's been written by Rabbi David Altshuler. Rabbi David Altshuler wrote those commentaries, Metzudot David and Metzudot Zion. He born around 337 years ago. He born in Galicia, okay? He wrote the commentary, but he never managed to finish all the commentary. Rabbi David Altshuler passed away. His son, Yehiel Hillel, continued and he finished the commentary. And they're on a commentary on that verse, okay, on that sentence, say the Metzudot David, okay? He says something very interesting. He said from that verse, you can learn that the best smell of Besamim grow where? In Lebanon, where we at the moment in war, where things in the north of Israel, very stressed, very tense. In Lebanon, you can find the best trees with a nice smell, the best weeds, okay, that means herbs, that with a nice smell. That revealed to us the prophet Hosea. Okay, now I would like, we're coming towards the end of the show, and now I'm going to start going deeper. What does it mean deeper? Chazal constitute for us to say Birkat Besamim, to do the brachot of the Besamim. What's hiding behind it? Why did they constitute for us all of this? We have to understand why did they tell us to do Birkat Besamim. Not only that, Chazal also, not for nothing, telling us to do brachot. Beside all what we brought, there is something that it help us in difficult time. The Besamim is something that do only good. And I heard today, when I wrote the show, I heard what the Yanuka in biblical language mean little, but it's referring to a giant in Torah. There is a person in Israel that I quoted him a number of times. They given him the nickname Yanuka. His real name is Rabbi Shlomo Yehuda Bari. If you take notice, every time that I do the brachot for health of the people that they could drink, I mention him. Harav Shlomo Yehuda Bari Shalita. He's a young boy. When I say a young boy, Rabotai, in his 30s, he's a giant of Torah. Some people say he's the Mashiach, okay, but that's a different issue. And I love to listen to him. And a lot of the way he influenced me in a lot of way of learning, okay? And I learned that today when I learn and I listen to his show, and I see that he says something very important. He said, when a person said the Birkot Besamim, Atze Besamim, Asbe Besamim, Mine Besamim, okay? He says something very interesting. He said a person should say the sentence that we read this Shabbos in Parashat Tetzaveh, in chapter 29, in verse 25. And the sentence goes like this: Reach nihoach ishe la'Adonai. He said, when you say that sentence that our friend Jeffrey gonna read for us shortly, there is great top secret behind it. Jeffrey, would you mind reading for us that verse, that sentence?
Chapter 29, verse 35.
25.
Verse 25. Fine. Got it? You shall take them from their hands and cause it to go up in smoke on the altar, on the elevation offering, as a satisfying aroma before Hashem. It is a fire offering to Hashem.
Okay. Reach is a smell. Nihoach is to elevate, okay, in the sake of the Almighty. He said that after you say any bracha, listen to that, of the Besamim, if it's Aseh Besamim, Asbe Besamim, Mine Besamim, say that sentence. I'll repeat it slowly. Reach, Ishe, Reach Nihoach, Reach Nihoach Ishe la'Adonai. 4 words. Reach Nihoach Ishe la'Adonai. That sentence, there is great top secret that we don't understand. What does it mean? What does it mean? Say Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, that born in Jerusalem 490 years ago, explained that behind that sentence, after we say that sentence, after we say the Birkot Besamim, immediately after we smell, we say Reach Nihoach Ishe Hashem, there is a great secret revealed to us. He said that it's hinting to us that it's an elevation to the Almighty. What does it mean, elevation to the Almighty? That the name of the Almighty Elohim, okay, referring to all the judgment. He said by that you say that words this sentence, Reach nihoach ishe laHashem, you actually turn all the judgment to mercy and compassion and kindness. Not only that, the Mekubalim continue and explain that people that suffer from anxiety, and who doesn't suffer today from anxiety and from fear what's happening in the land of Eretz Israel, okay, with all the situation, he said by that he said that sentence, again I repeat it, Reach nihoach ishe laAdonai, he actually get rid of all of those fear, all of those anxiety. The Mekubalim continue and explain. Listen to that, Rabotai, and with that I'm going to end. Hazal tell us in the Gemara in Masechet Baba Batra, Tetzayin Amud Aleph, 16, folio 1. Hazal tell us the Yetzer Hara. Who is Yetzer Hara? Who's Yetzer Hara? Hazal there say Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, say like this. Who Yetzer Hara? Who is Satan? Who Malach HaMavet? Who is Samech Mem? That means he's the angel of death, he's the Satan, he's the evil inclination. Said the Mekubalim, when you say that verse, Reach ishe nihoach laAdonai, after you smell, you weakening the strength of the Yetzer Hara. After we say Birkata Besamim, if it's Atze Besamim, Asbe Besamim, Mine Besamim, and we say the sentence, Reach nihoach ishe laAdonai, we weakening the strength of the evil inclination. Unheard of, the Mekubalim explain. That's what's hiding behind that sentence. Rabotai, let's summarize the show. Today, we all in difficulties. Everyone has stress at home, stress from the family in Israel, stress from the friend in Israel, the children in Israel, whatever you want to call it. Everyone worried about what's happening in Israel. Everyone worried that Dr. Les say what's happening with the Jewish people in the diaspora all over. We see the true face of the 70 nations, how much they love us. Now we see it. Said the Mekubalim, and that's why I brought that shi'ur, that in those difficult times that people feel stress, people feel afraid, people feel anxiety. You know what's the answer to all of it? To say Birkot Besamim, the bracha of Besamim. If it's Atze Besamim, Asbe Besamim, Mine Besamim. And then the most important, not to forget to say the sentence, Ishe Reach nihoach laAdonai. And that's going to help you to overcome all of those difficulties. Besides what we brought earlier in the show, how does it affect the body of a human being? Now we're talking about the spiritual, the physical, and the spiritual part of the body. Also, people that suffering from anxiety. For any kind of anxiety, you say that brocha, Rabotai, say the Mekubalim, that will helping you in those difficult times. That you say Bore Mine Besamim, or Bore Atzbe Besamim, or Mine Besamim, and then you say the sentence. I repeat it now, I don't know how many times. Reach nihoach ishe laHashem. Jeffrey, would you mind reading that verse again for us? If you don't mind, chapter 29, verse 25 in Parashat Tetzaveh, please.
Sure. You shall take them from their hands and cause it to go up in smoke on the altar, on the elevation altar, as a satisfying aroma before Hashem. It is a fire offering to Hashem.
Satisfying aroma to Hashem.
Yeah.
That means when we say that, the Birkat Besamim, and then we say Ishe Reach Nichoach LaHashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets such a satisfying that he changed all the decree against the Jewish people and he turned it to mercy, compassion, and kindness. Rabotai. And when we say Shereach Nichoach LaHashem, we weakening all those that try to criticize against us. The Samechmem, the Seatu. That means the evil inclination, the angel of death, the Satan, whatever you want to call it. How often, and with that I'm going to conclude now, Rabotai, how often we should say that brocha? So the poskim say, some of the poskim say every 2 hours. Harav Ben Chion Mutzafi Shalita. I heard it and I have it in writing. He said you can say it every half an hour. You can say the brocha with Shem Malchut. That means, what it means Shem Malchut? With name of the Almighty every half an hour. And after you say the Birkat Besamim, whatever you say Reach Nichoach Ishe LaHashem, elevation to the Almighty. A beautiful aroma, elevation to Hashem. Reach Nichoach Ishe LaHashem. That will get rid of all kind of anxiety, all kind of fear, all kind of depression that the people have. That will help. So Be'ezrat Hashem, Rabotai, now that we know what's hiding behind the Birkot of Samim, how does it affect us physically? How does it affect us spiritually? How does it help our soul? How is our neshama get benefit from it? Rabotai, person should take with him Besamim, okay? When you go to work, every 2 hours, every half an hour, say the brocha and say, Reach Nichoach Ishe LaAdonai. And immediately the Mekubalim explain the effect of it doesn't take time. It's immediately work. So those that suffering from anxiety, those that have fears, worry, do that remedy and you'll see miracle. I decided to bring that Sheol Rabota especially because we as Jewish people underneath a lot of stress, especially now, with the situation that's happening in Eretz Israel, the situation that's happening in Europe, the situation that happened in Africa, in America. Name a country that loves us. I don't think that there is many. Because the word Gog Umagog, that means referring to the word of Armageddon. I done a show about it, if you remember. Hazal explained that Gog Umagog referring, the gematria of Gog Umagog referring, it's 70, referring to the 70 nations. 70 nations will come against the Jewish people in the time of the Mashiach. But Hazal revealed to us, the Mekubalim, that even in a stress time like this, time that there is a lot of fear, time that there is a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, there is an answer to everything. What is that? Birkat Besamim, the blessing of the Besamim. And the most important is the sentence I repeat it again and again and again. Reach Nichoach Ishe LaAdonai. a beautiful smell of fragrance, elevation to the Almighty. So Be'ezrat Hashem, Rabotai, that we take that remedy, keep it with us, keep it in our mind. Whenever we have a moment, take the Besamim, take a bottle of smell, any smell. Say Borem B'nei Besamim, okay? And then say that sentence, Reach Nihoach Shel Adonai, and you're going to feel immediately better. So Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will merit us, that we should see great miracle. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send us Mashiach Tzidkenu, and He will redeem us with no sorrow, with no pain, with no agony. Be'ezrat Hashem, He returned the soldiers back to their home, healthy, with no injuries. He will cure those soldiers that got injured, those that been kidnapped, and they're still alive. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will return them with full health, Be'ezrat Hashem, and we'll see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. V'yomar dai letzarotenu, amen ken yeh ratzon. Rabotai, I hope that you benefit from this show. I hope that you enjoy this show. If you have any question regarding the show, with pleasure, unmute your microphone. I would like to hear your question. Bechavod. Any question? Rabotai, bechavod.
Rav, I'll start with a question, Rav.
Bechavod.
Rav, this is quite amazing. You built the whole shir up to this moment of Reach Nachoach Ishel Adonai. You built it to that. But it doesn't say that in the Torah. It says Reach Nachoach Lifnei Hashem. Isher Hu Hashem.
No.
It doesn't. So it doesn't say that. So who changed it? To give is it to make instead of making
what it said.
Yes.
לריח ניחוח לפני אדוני, אישהו לאדוני. ריח, לריח, is ריח, smell.
Yes.
Okay, let's translate. ניחוח,
yes.
elevation. Okay,
yes.
לפני השם.
לפני.
אישהו להשם.
Yes.
So if you take it, ריח, ניחוח, אישה לאדוני.
Yeah, but why they why? Because the word Hu Hashem makes it very strong. The word Hu makes it such a big, strong. That's for Shem.
Yeah. Why did they say?
Why did they change leave out Lifnei and put Ishe?
You say that the Besamim. What was the secret of the spices? So Hazal in the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat tell us when Moshe Rabbeinu gone to heaven to bring down the Torah to earth, the angel in heaven wanted to harm him. They said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mal yilud isha benenu. What is a human being doing here on heaven among us? Angel. What is a human being doing in heaven? HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to him, Ba lekabel Torah. He came to receive the Torah. The angel got cross. They wanted to harm him. Moshe Rabbeinu saw that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, can you give them an answer? He said, yes, I can give them an answer, but I'm afraid that they might going to kill me. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to them, don't worry. Answer them, hold my chair of glory and answer them. Moshe Rabbeinu asked the angel, told me, you don't want me to bring the Torah down, but the Torah is a manual. The Torah here, it's to, what does the Torah say? You should not murder. In heaven, there is any murder? No. You should not steal. Anyone steal in heaven? No. You should not commit adultery, immorality. Anything happening? No. Did you be enslaved in Egypt? No. We merit to receive the Torah because the Torah means manual. All the angels agree with him. Hazal say even the Yetzer Hara, the Samech Mem, agree with him and given him present. Each angel given him present. What is those present? Not physical present, spiritual present. Hazal in the Gemara say, what the evil inclination, the Yetzer Hara, can give Moshe Rabbeinu present. What present he can give him? He said that in a time of a plague, in a time of dire strait, if you say the spices, petoma ketoret, in a korbanot, that will remove any decree. By that we say birkat ha-besamim. Okay, Jeffrey? When we're saying the blessing of the besamim, if it's atse besamim, asbe besamim, mine besamim, okay? And we say reach nichoach LaHashem, we say that's the elevation, that's the smell of fragrance is elevation to the Almighty. We're changing all the decree, like we mentioned, that bring Ari Kadosh, that bring in the Mekubalim, how we can change the difficulties. How much we can change decrees instead of decree, turning them to mercy and compassion. You follow? By that we're mentioning, that blessing that I'm saying is a special aroma, that it's elevation to the Almighty.
We're recognizing that. We're recognizing with that statement that this is the aroma that will remove, and we recognize it. So it's really concentrating on the Isher, I don't know, the
elevation to the Almighty.
Elevation.
The special smell of fragrance, special fragrance, that it's elevation to our soul, because our soul came from heaven. Okay, our soul connected to heaven, our neshama.
Yeah.
Okay, it's elevation to the Almighty. The same like it's elevate us here physically, because as Hazal say in the Gemara in Masechet Brachot, Mem Gimel, Amud Aleph, 43, folio 1, as we mentioned at the beginning, Mem Gimel Amud Bet, 43, Mem Gimel is 43, 2. Hazal say that what is the soul really benefit from? It's the smell. That we say in the end of Sefer Tehillim, Kol HaNeshama Tehalleliya Le'Shliach. All the soul gonna praise you. How's the soul gonna praise you? Did you see a soul praising the Almighty? Yes, by the smell. That's the smell. You follow?
Yes. Yes.
You understand? And by that we saying the sentence, Reach Nichoach, a special fragrance, elevation to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we're changing all the decree.
All right.
Hi.
Beseder? Yes, Ken. Who wanted to ask questions?
Yeah. Can you type it out for us on the group, even in Hebrew, because by tomorrow morning I'm sure I'll forget it.
Yeah. I will send it on a group. Bli neder, I will send that sentence. Reach nichoach shel Adonai.
And yes, it's a normal bracha for Besamim.
The normal bracha for Besamim depends what Besamim you have. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show.
But just write this. Will you send the 3 as well?
But depends what you're having. I don't know what you're having.
Okay.
It all depends what you have. Atse Besamim, it's on a tree, on a bark, for example, on a bark of cinnamon. A tree of lemon, okay, that give a good smell, okay? You understand? Okay, like we explained, that give a good smell. Asbe Besamim is like a mint. If you have a mint, okay, you say Asbe Besamim.
Right.
Okay. Mine besamim, it's any perfume. Or ground cinnamon.
Okay.
Okay? So depends what you have with you. I don't know what you have. But it's any besamim that you say on Motzei Shabbat. Smell it. And then I will send the thing in Hebrew. It's the most important in Hebrew to say, not in English. I translate it to English. Reach nihoach ishe la'Hashem. What it means, reach nihoach? A fragrant, a beautiful, good smell of fragrance. That's its elevation to the Almighty. Beseder?
Beseder.
Okay. Any other question?
Rabbi.
Who wanna
It's
ask?
Anthony. Anthony, how are you?
Erev Tov, Anthony. How are you? Shavua
All
Tov.
right, thanks. Why do we make the spices after Shabbos Havdalah? What about other Yontif and that we don't make the bracha on spices?
So I explained that on Shabbos we get extra soul, nefesh yetera. On a festival we don't get nefesh yetera. I explained that the Mishnah Bora bringing it, and it said because on Shabbat we get nefesh yetera. Okay, we have to say the blessing of Besamim to return back the soul to us. Okay, we brought that it's the Mishnah Bora Resh Tzadik Zayin. Resh, it's 200 Tzadik 297. If you want to look at that, Saif Katan Bet. Okay, and the Mishnah Bora. Beseder?
Okay, thanks very much.
I feel better after the Shabbat end. It feel drop down. You feel a bit down.
Shabbos, the soul goes, so we have to make it feel the spices.
Rabbi, it's Frank. How are you?
Shavua Tov. How are you? I missed you this morning. I missed you and I missed Jeffrey. I don't know Jeffrey. I'm missing him lately. Too many. I need to deal with Jeffrey. Yes, Frank.
Rabbi, these brachas are said on natural things, not synthetic. But if you go into a perfume shop, it's a synthetic. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I explained that there is Arav Ovadia Yosef say that on synthetic thing you can say brocha mine besamim. Okay. Harav Oyerba and Harav Elishiashi, there was a debate, should you not say on synthetic thing? And they bring in their opinion, there is some people that say you maybe should not. But Harav Ovadia Yosef say you should say mine besamim, and you can say mine besamim.
So every morning when you put on your aftershave, must you say a bracha?
No, because it doesn't stay on your body, it's immediately dry. If you have the body, the bottle open, you can say on it. Not on a spot, because it's dry on your body, because it doesn't show, it doesn't leave anything.
No. Okay. Thanks, Rabbi. Thank you.
Pleasure. Any other question, Rabotai? No. Okay, Rabotai.
One more, if I could.
Yes. Bechavot, sure.
My mum's family were from Amsterdam, from Holland. So they originate from Holland.
Okay.
And it was a big thing to have flowers in the house and always have a sweet fragrance. And here on Shavuot, especially, on Shavuot, you decorate the home and the shuls, and the Dutch people had the minhag to do it, to have this beautiful smells. Now, it's is it on Shavuot? Is it
only
like
on
Shabbat?
Also on Shabbat. So Arav Pinkus, Zecher Tzadik V'Kadosh Livracha, met my wife maybe 10, 15 years ago in Pick and Pay, here in Upper Market. And he said to my wife, when she was doing the shopping for Shabbos, he said to me that the roses been made for Shabbos. It's good to have roses for Shabbos, to have a good smell. So we say Besamim on Yom HaShabbat. We say Besamim. We said the Birkat Besamim because on Shabbat also we don't have the Tfilat Shmona Esrei. It's a short Amida. To fulfill 400 brachot, we can fill them up also with Birkat Besamim, whatever we have. For example, I have a lot of herbs that my wife planted, and I take all the time the Asbe Besamim and Atse Besamim, and I try to say it whenever I remember, and then say Shereach Nehuach LaHashem, especially on those difficult times that we are now.
Okay.
Okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I hope that you enjoy the show. May
Sure.
please God you have a beautiful week, and we'll see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. Rabotai, thank you for joining us. Have a great evening. All the best.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.